Hey guys! So, today I'm going to tell you why dependencies are horrible. So let's get into it. So, for this to make any type of context, well, no, not context, sense, you need context in order to make sense of things, not context to... Anywho, to give you a bit of context, I have been tasked with this amazing, exciting, great story, which basically means, or rather the scope of the story is to move our front-end project from Webpack 3 to Webpack 4. It's just one number, right? Wrong. Wrong! For the people out there who don't use Webpack all that much, or maybe you're unfamiliar with it, this is a build tool that is by far and wide the most adopted build tool in frontend today. Hands down, it's not even a competition. Webpack is a big deal in JavaScript. And very recently, the latest version, or the major release 4.0, well, we're at 4.6 now, was released with, as you can probably expect, a lot of breaking changes. But my boss has had this, well, he has this desire to keep things fairly relevant, and it's actually good. It's a good idea to keep your dependencies up to date, because if you fall too far behind, it becomes even more tricky for you to keep things up to date, and you don't get all the benefits, etc, etc, etc. Now, why am I talking about dependencies? Because it's just one major release, right? Wrong. Because when you update that number 3 to 4 for, say, something critical, something that is tied into absolutely everything, like Webpack, you have to now update every loader, every damn dependency you have, all the build tools, gulp, like all of it has to now be updated, because you are updating a central piece or a central dependency that all your other dependencies are connected to. Now this is why it's such a shitstorm. I'm sorry I had to use that word, I'm sorry, but it is a shitstorm to work in a really large JavaScript project with a lot of dependencies, because you are with all these different libraries. The issue is that you will find that these are not maintained by the same people. Not all of them are, which means that some of the, like I've been working today all day just to identify what plugins we can simply upgrade so that they are compatible. Luckily enough, quite a few of them are just an upgrade. But some of them I have to remove, and because the people who added in this dependency hadn't really thought about who is maintaining that plugin or whatever. So you have to kind of just figure out a way around all these dependencies, because they're no longer supported with Webpack 4. And if you want to use Webpack 4, you're going to have to either remove this thing or take over ownership of the project yourself. And I'm not really in the mood to start a few open source projects just to get us to Webpack 4. And then you have other awesome considerations, which is yet another reason why I keep telling people, don't add nice to haves. Never ever add nice to haves. Only add exactly the things that you depend on, the things that you must have in order to do the job. Because if you are unlucky, which is the situation that I'm finding myself in, you will have a major, like what would have seemed to someone who is a little bit naive, I will have to say, it will seem as a good dependency, but it's such a bad thing. I made a video not that long ago about a coworker of mine who did a pretty cool thing. We were supporting translations, right? And we are depending on a tool that is called Storybook. You may have heard of it, it's very popular. And I stated in this video that this is a nice to have feature. It's actually a very bad dependency to have, because it doesn't add all that much value if you really get down to it. There are use cases for it, but for us it's not a good dependency. It doesn't really bring us much. But since we now, and I made another video about this thing as well, this coworker of mine, he's an awesome guy, but he should have talked to me about this, because I knew what was going to happen, and this is where we are now. So we added our own customization on top of Storybook in order for us to support translations. Instead of doing the thing that we should have done, which is to create a custom solution, because Storybook was never designed to do this sort of work. And it's, as I said, it's a nice to have thing. It's not something that we should be supporting over time. We added our own custom flavor on top of Storybook. So now we have moved a nice to have library dependency into something that is business critical, because without Storybook we can no longer support translations. It's not possible. And you may have guessed it, as of right now, Storybook does not have support for Webpack 4. So now, tomorrow, I will do my best to go through all the issues on the issue trackers and see if I can find a alpha version or something that will be compatible, and just try to figure out some way of fixing this in some fashion. Or I'm gonna have to go to my coworkers and say, we have to make a choice, guys. Either we just ignore Storybook for now and go with Webpack 4, or we can't do the upgrade. It's going to be an interesting conversation to have, to just see how everybody thinks about it, and hopefully it's going to be a great learning experience for the people that I try to kind of. I mean, don't get me wrong, guys, I don't know everything about everything. I just happen to have foreseen this sort of issue because I've been here before. I know what it seems, as I said, it seems like such a great idea. And the only reason why I could foresee it is because I've already made that fuck up. So I'm not, it's not about being angry at anybody. It's not about pointing fingers. It's about learning as a team from this experience. And hopefully this experience will be very similar to the sort of thing that I've gone through so many times in my own career, where a coworker has warned me. I have ignored this coworker, and then it turns out that that coworker was right. And now here I am relaying this information to you so that you will do what I should have done all those times. I mean, me just saying these words to you may not make you do it, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Listen to the warnings, guys. Always listen to experience, even when it doesn't seem like it's the smartest thing in the world. And if you're ever uncertain whether or not somebody with experience has the right mindset or not, check it out a little bit. Just hear them out, because trust me, it's hopefully going to save you a lot of hassle down the road. So, to summarize, the issue that I'm facing right now is not that I can't upgrade my Webpack dependency. It is that because I have so many dependencies and they're all on different compatibility versions, I have to upgrade not only Webpack, I have to upgrade everything around it, all of it. And that's where it snowballs on you. Dependencies are not a problem if you never upgrade them, or if you just keep them as they are. Just like software never breaks if it's always the same software. The problem comes when you try to change it. Have a great day.